her sad songs makes me want to hug her. But this is a bop though, I like it. Love the harmony there. Hello and welcome to Embodying Mystical Mac. I'm Mac, and if you're new here, thank you so much for joining. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. Today we have a reaction/commentary of Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department. Now, full disclosure, I typically need to ruminate when it comes to music. My initial reactions are seldom the same from what I end up feeling about the music once I've had a chance to sit with it. You know, sometimes like the initial luster of it kind of grows, whereas sometimes it becomes something else if I decide that I feel differently about the song than I initially thought. So in order to give you a, how do I say this? In order to give you a more full and aware commentary, I have allowed myself to sort of, not necessarily consciously that I'm putting it on in the background, but like I'm not trying to avoid the album like the plague, okay? I've heard certain things, I've seen it scroll through pass through as I scroll on reels and shorts and things, and I'm excited to like actually listen while I look at the lyrics. I've got, you know, the vinyl holder / lyric book here. I'm excited to go through that and see my feelings on this. There are songs that I absolutely have not heard. I'm excited. I've never done this before for the channel. This is cool. This is fun. And I have no idea if this is going to be on the podcast or not, but we'll see. And if it is, thank you for listening on it. For the themed wardrobe, we've got the closest thing I have to like Victorian nightwear. And I've got my folklore cardigan, so we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Okay. Let's do it. And I know that there have been, you know, criticisms and things of the album. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I guess I should explain how this is gonna work. Just for the sake of not having to remember absolutely every thought by the end of the entire thing, I'm gonna split it up by discs and sides, right? So more like sides. So we're gonna listen to the first side, side A of the first vinyl, and then I'm gonna talk about it. And then we're gonna listen to the other one, and then I'm gonna talk about it, right? And there are two vinyls, so let's get this going. Are we sure no one's here to blame? You're here to blame. Post Malone's voice sounds really nice behind hers, I will say. It sounds so nice in the background like that. It's like ethereal. I love that. Ooh, I like how the percussion picks up here. Didn't notice that before. Obviously, this is the one I've heard the most. Like, around me. I literally love how their voices mix. Oh, nice harmonies. I love that, the isolated four. Oh, that's a really nice harmony. Oh, shit. Now that I'm seeing like the lyrics, hearing the full song, like, I love the story in it. Taylor's like, oh god, I love that. Okay, we love the story of Fortnight. Let's just tortured poets department. Here we go.
You left your typewriter at my apartment, straight from the tortured poets department. I think some things I never say.
I like the beat of this one. It's very Taylor. Kind of reminds me of 1989 a little bit. I like that lyric, who else decodes you? I like the harmony on Hold You. I'll take it, it's on Know You. That is really in there. I don't know why, I just love it when she cusses. She really means it when she cusses.
You smoked then 8, 7 bars of chocolate.
This has to be about Maddie. Allegedly.
I scratch your head, you fall asleep like a tattoo.
Yeah, it's about Maddie. Also, I don't know how I feel about that lyric. I wish I knew more about Dylan Thomas and Patti Smith. Like, I've obviously heard of them, but I don't know enough to comment on that, unfortunately.
Sometimes I wonder if you're gonna screw this up with me. But you told Lucy you'd kill
now, who is Lucy?
And I had said that to Jack about you, so I felt seen.
Jack Antonoff.
'Cause we're crazy.
It's meant to be because you're crazy? No! That's probably not a good thing. I like the song though.
At dinner, you take my ring off my middle finger and put it on the wall.
I mean,
people put wedding rings on.
We'll talk about it.
The closest I've come to my heart exploding. Who's gonna know you?
I don't know how I feel about this part.
Me. Who's gonna hold you?
I like this part.
She's gonna hold, she's gonna hold, she's gonna hold, she's gonna hold you. You left your typewriter in my apartment, straight from the torture poets department. Who else decodes?
Oh, I like that it comes back around. I like that who else decodes you comes back around. Okay, next we got, I like the fade out for this one. Next we got My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. Hearing.
Oh, here we
The
go
needle is really weird.
again.
Anyway.
The voices in his head called the rain to end our days of wild. The sickest army doll purchased at
I like the
mall.
percussion. Kind of how impactful it is from the get.
My plastic smile. My boy only breaks his favorite toys.
I love the sass in this song.
I'm queen of sand castles he destroys.
I like that lyric.
My boy
I really like this one.
only breaks his favorite toys. There was a litany of reasons why we could have played for keeps this time. I
This
know
time.
just repeating
Allegedly,
myself.
Maddie.
But pull the string and I'll tell you that he runs because he loves me.
Oh, I want to hug her.
Shouldn't seen him when he first saw me. My boy only breaks his favorite toys. Toys. I'm queen of sand castles he destroys. Oh.
Oh, it changes here.
Cause I knew too much. There was danger in the heat of my touch. It's all forever, so he smashed it.
Oh! Oh! Damn!
My boy only breaks his favorite toys. Once I fix me, he's gonna miss.
I like the variation here. All the Kens, they come up again. It's different deja vu. Don't you hate it when they do that? Even if it's true. Certainly doesn't feel like it's true in the moment. I really like that one. All right, next we got Down Bad, and I think that is it for side A. So, Down Bad. All right, I heard that this is like a British thing for like when you're really in love. I don't know.
Really beat me up in a cloud of sparkling dust.
Oh shoot, this is it. Okay.
Then sent me back where I came from.
Oh my gosh, is this all about Maddie, allegedly? So far?
I knew cosmic love. Everything comes out, teenage petulance. Fuck it if I can't have him.
Ooh!
Just die, it would make no difference. Down bad, breaking up.
Might just die. Oh my goodness.
Let the sky come back and pick me up. Fuck it if I can't have us. Down bad.
Okay, so is there a double entendre here with Down Bad?
Can't have him.
Like she's down bad
If I can't have
because she's upset about not being able to potentially have this person. However,
my old clothes.
she's also like down bad in love, as in the British saying, because of you know who.
In a field in my same old town that somehow seems so hollow now.
That
They'll
New
say
York?
I'm nuts if I talk about the existence of you.
I feel like this that's a Maddie. Ooh! Allegedly.
For a moment I was happy.
Her sad songs makes me want to hug her.
Down bad, crying at the gym.
But this is a bop though, I like it.
Everything comes out, teenage petulance. Fuck it if I can't have him.
Love the harmony there.
Make no difference. I might just not get up. I might
Ooh, I like that. Whoop, 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 in the background that just happened.
fuck it if I can't.
Twin?
Down bad,
Wait, twin?
at the ship. Fuck it if I can't have him.
Okay.
How dare you think it's romantic, leaving me safe and stranded?
That is a reference to New Romantics.
Yet I was in love.
Really?
So fuck you if I can't have a.
Oh!
Now I'm down bad, crying at the gym.
I really enjoy
Comes out, teenage
how long and like
if I can't have him.
sad that pause feels before we get back into the chorus.
Difference, down bad, waking up and looking.
And now the harmonies are kind of all over the chorus.
Come back and pick me up. Fuck it if I can't have us. Like I lost my
I don't like the twin. I don't like that.
down bad, leaving.
Like I get what she's trying to say, kind of, maybe. Like in the you know, the movie Hancock kind of way.
Down bad, leaving at the ship. Fuck it if I can't have him.
Let's talk about it. All right. Okay. Starting with Fortnite. Let's just start with Fortnite. Now, because obviously Fortnite is the one that I've heard in periphery the most. Obviously that doesn't allow me to really listen to lyrics very closely or anything, and I'm a lyrics girly. Like, this is part of why I really enjoy Taylor's music. It's because I love it when the, you know, crux of the song is in the lyrics. And I just, especially at the bridge, like I really enjoy the story in Fortnite. And while I did enjoy the video, and the video did contribute to the story quite a bit, which I appreciate, I don't love the way that it feels like this mental health aesthetic is sort of gonna be an era and then she's gonna move on from it. Just, I don't know how to feel about that, although I do understand what she's trying to do with the, you know, the mental health allusions in the video and things like that. All that aside, yeah, I just don't know how to feel. I feel like I should explain it better. Hi there, it's Mac from recording day 2. You're gonna see her later on, but I'm gonna insert here because I do not feel like I explained my thoughts on Fortnight well enough at all, especially because I kind of went into the whole concept of the video and the aesthetic of this album, and I just feel like I need to do a better job. So you're getting me from recording day 2 that will be happening because sides C and D just could not be done on the same night as sides A and B because priorities, because sleep, you know, all that. So let's talk about Fortnight. I genuinely love, and especially getting to listen through the vinyl. Part of why I wanted to listen to the vinyl, like I'm not trying to be like snobby or anything. One, I wanted to make it a cool experience, and I do collect these vinyls, so why not break her open, you know? Also, part of why I wanted to do that is because when I listened to the Midnight's vinyl, I realized that you could hear Lana Del Rey's beautiful backing vocals for the OG Snow on the Beach, right? Not the one with more Lana, but the OG one. And where you could not hear that in the digital recording, obviously, because she made one with more Lana Del Rey, because we asked, right? And so that just kind of like opened my eyes a little bit, like to the point, to the sense that since I'm reacting, since I have the vinyl, since I find that those backing nuances and whether it's vocal or instrumental, they seem to be a little bit more clear to me, at least on the vinyl, I decided to do that. And Post Malone's backing vocals just come through so beautifully. Like, I love the way their voices intermingle together. I love that in this song, by the bridge, you get him talking to her, basically. Maybe even, yeah, it does look in the lyrics because it goes, till you touch, touch, touch me, and then it goes, till I touch, touch, touch you. Yeah, so you have, you know, him talking to her in the bridge and her talking back, and them essentially coming to the same conclusion, right, until we touch. And I love that. Like, Taylor's, some of my favorite songs of Taylor's are my favorites because she just tells a story musically so incredibly well. And this song feels that way to me, to the point that, you know, some of the lyrics, like, initially I was like, the comment on my sweater, I was like, you know, maybe. And then, like, I listened to the whole thing and I'm just like thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, actually these quirky little details actually work because she's telling a story. Like, she's telling the story of this relationship in this moment, you know, in this Fortnight. And now I kind of want to get into the video and the aesthetic of the album. Aesthetic. There we go. It sounded like I said. Anyways, I kind of want to get into that because the Fortnight video obviously does illuminate a lot of the lyrics in a sense of it's the Fortnight music video. So in it, we're going to get what Taylor relates to when she thinks about this song. Obviously, the video was very in line with the whole aesthetic of the album. You know, this idea of a tortured poet. It's black and white. There's a lot of references to, you know, times before, be it, you know, in her own life or even times in human history, you know, when Clara Bow was alive, and we'll get to that, the other lyric, but, you know, in Victorian times, which it kind of seems like that's what was referenced in the Fortnight music video with the Victorian, what looked like to be a morning gown, the black one that she was wearing, you know, at the typewriter, that kind of thing. And I've seen the discourse regarding, you know, the idea that people think that Taylor's calling herself a tortured poet. And now, while I didn't initially think that exactly, as much as I was thinking she was calling the men that she's writing about perhaps tortured poets, but now that I think about it, like, maybe she includes herself with that as well. One thing that I heard in the discourse was kind of like, you know, how could Taylor be a tortured poet? And, you know, in that way, I think they're kind of equating the idea of a tortured poet with a starving artist, which, while they can be one and the same, they don't have to be one and the same. Like, a lot of the writers and poets that we can consider very tortured didn't have financial problems. Like, for example, like Edgar Allan Poe, from my understanding, was pretty well off. I believe there's like Lord Byron, he was pretty well off. A lot of these, not all, of course, but quite a few of the tortured poets that we know, like even the females as well, they weren't always starving artists, and some of them were actually really well off, you know? And so, one, there's that, but two, let's not gatekeep who can be a tortured poet and who can't. Because at the end of the day, being tortured in this human experience is just kind of a thing that I feel like most people probably experience at this point, regardless of our status and wealth, okay? You can be very depressed and very, very rich. And now, while I could definitely benefit from being rich at the moment, totally get that, I also have a really deep appreciation for things in life that money can't necessarily buy, like the amazing relationships that I've cultivated, right? The beautiful third places that I get to frequent, my own passions that I've stoked and loved to life, much like this channel. These are things that, while money can facilitate, money cannot bring me the absolute fulfillment and joy that I get from these things. If I had all the money in the world, but I didn't have my fulfilling relationships, and I didn't have my passions that I stoked to life, and I didn't have the third places, the beautiful third places that I get to go to, and therefore, you know, a sense of community. If I didn't have those things and I had all the money in the world, I would be depressed. I would be a very comfortable depressed person, but I would be depressed for very grave reasons for me personally. So let's not gatekeep who can, you know, feel tortured enough to write poetry about it and therefore call themselves a tortured poet, regardless of what Taylor meant. I'm fully, you know, I believe in what I'm saying here. I also don't love the idea that there seems to be like an allusion to some sort of mental health parallel in the Fortnight music video. And even, honestly, in, you know, I think one of the songs, I've been seeing this lyric everywhere, like, you wouldn't last a second in the asylum where they raised me. I don't know which song that is from, but I suppose we will get to it. So there are mentions of mental health and kind of tying things to, I should say not mental health, but mental illnesses, you know, or just mental illness in general, or things that could associate to that. And hey, she can write about whatever she wants, and she can use whatever themes she wants. The only thing that doesn't fully sit super well with me, and haven't really decided like to what degree of it doesn't sit super well, like obviously I'm not gonna not listen to Fortnight. Obviously I did watch the music video. It's just like something that got me thinking a little bit, and it's just that Taylor's gotten really good at, you know, reinventing herself, having these eras, you know, where she does something different, maybe not entirely sonically different, but aesthetically different, right? Like 1989 is not the same vibes as Midnight's, even though they're probably not necessarily similar albums as in they sound the same, but like they're both pop, they're both fun, they have these, you know, really catchy songs. But Midnight's is kind of like a darker, more euphoria visuals type of pop, right? Whereas 1989 is brighter. It's, you know, sunshine. Midnights is literally at midnight in the dark, whereas like 1989 is like out in the open, in the sun. And because she's been so adept at reinventing herself and creating these different eras, I just feel like maybe having so many allusions to mental illness, you know, and mentioning starlets who needed help in the mental health department but did not get it, and sort of in a way almost, maybe not entirely, but almost romanticizing them. It just, to me, kind of feels like we're taking away from the very real point that they needed help and were not able to get it. Either because society didn't really view them as needing help, or perceived, you know, giving help as here's some sleeping pills, or here's some alcohol, or whatever. Or because maybe they couldn't afford it, whatever it may be. I just don't love the idea of, you know, the Fortnight music video, like, being so tied to, you know, this idea of a woman in an asylum who's being experimented on and things like that, because I don't feel like it adds enough commentary to warrant utilizing that theme that also happens to be a very unfortunate theme of actual human history, just for an aesthetic and for your music video to maybe pack a little bit more of a punch. I guess all I'm trying to say in very many words, because I'm trying to be very mindful, because I do love Taylor Swift's music. I think she's a phenomenal performer, singer, songwriter, professional. And when I say she's a phenomenal singer, do not come for me. She does very well with the vocals she's got, and I appreciate her. And I appreciate this album. But I wouldn't be myself if I didn't say that her handling of mental illness and the almost borderline I can't even say it now. The borderline romantic. This is so embarrassing. I literally Now, you know what? The words become four now. But I just feel like there was a bit of an irresponsible use of or handling of mental illness and mental health within the Fortnight video. A little bit of a borderline. You know what I'm trying to say. I just literally, now I can only think the word wrong. You know, nearly pedestalizing, you know, these women of the past who, while were amazing, it doesn't help us see them as full people. To just think like, oh my God, weren't they so amazing in their time, in their prime, that kind of thing. And you know, I haven't gotten to the song Clara Bow yet, so like, I'm not saying, that's why I'm saying like almost borderline. Because I'm not saying that she is romanticizing. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I'm not saying that that's exactly what she's doing. It just kind of like feels like glamorizing. That's actually more accurate. It just feels like glamorizing mental illness a little bit. And I just think that that's not really the idea. But that's just how it came to me, across to me a little bit. You know, fellow Swifties, don't come for me. This is my commentary. And if you don't like it, that's okay. but we can all be friends and we can all be respectful because I still really enjoy this album, okay? Now that I've gotten all that nonsense out of the way, please continue to listen to the rest. Oh, rather watch the rest of this video. And this outfit will be back very soon. Yeah. Let's get to the Tortured Poets department. I do like the Tortured Poets department. It contains some cringy lyrics for me, but there are parts of it, I should say, that I do like. And I like the sort of sassiness of the song. I like that it kind of... Actually, you know what? I don't necessarily like this, but I think it's a little cheeky that it just kind of seems like she's checking her dude a little bit, like maybe he's saying some things that are a little bit outrageous, not necessarily outrageous in the sense of like outrageous as in, oh, that's totally not possible, but just outrageous as in kind of like in this lyric where it says, you're not Dylan Thomas, and it's a quote here, quote, you're not Dylan Thomas, I'm not Patti Smith, this ain't the Chelsea Hotel, we're modern idiots, quote, right? It's more of like giving your dude a reality check, and that's kind of the vibe of the song that I get, and I appreciate it. I do say it's a bit audacious to say like that nobody else is gonna decode you, nobody can love you like me. I feel like until you found the person that you really, really, really feel that way about, meaning like y'all are, you know, in a thing that is sustainable and you can have a relationship blossom truly, I feel like that's when you can really say who's gonna love you like me, who's gonna hold you like me, kind of thing. Before that, I feel like a lot of us, and I know I've done this in the past, like, you know, have thought these things in response to fear that the relationship isn't really going to last. And so, you know, I think, you know, I would think things like, well, that this can't be, you know, this can't, the days on this can't be numbered, because who's gonna love me or love them like I love them, you know, and who's gonna love me like they love me, that kind of thing. I'm definitely surprised at like how many of these feel like they're about Maddie, allegedly. I feel like maybe Fortnight could be about more than one person, but the Tortured Poets department like just definitely feels very, very, very allegedly Maddie coded. Especially with the tattooed golden retriever line. I don't love that lyric. It doesn't even quite fit into the music very well. Can't. That one, not for me. That one's not for me. I do love me some cringy Taylor lyrics sometimes. Like, we declare Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. I don't know why that's in there. But you know what? It fits into the music, so I'm cool with it. It's kind of cheeky, I guess. But yeah, the tattooed golden retriever, I don't know. I don't know about that one. My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. I really enjoyed My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. That was really fun. I love that. I'm queen of sandcastles he destroys. Like, I don't know why. Some of Taylor's lyrics that, I don't know, some of her most like self-deprecating almost, not that this is necessarily self-deprecating, but it is in a sense like calling self-awareness to the fact that she is the queen of sandcastles, right? Like, this relationship is supposedly built like a sandcastle, and that means that it cannot withstand high tide, and it cannot withstand, you know, people walking through it, or even really just like doing anything, because it is a sandcastle, and she is proudly the queen of it, you know? So her lyrics that call self-awareness to kind of her part in things, I always appreciate that, and that lyric is kind of cheeky to me, and I really enjoy it. She's really coming out with the vocab with the rivulets there. I appreciate it. Always appreciate it. Definitely don't hear litany in lyrics very often, so that's cool too. So he was my best friend down at the Sandlot. That's a lyric that makes me feel like it's also allegedly about Maddie, because like down at the Sandlot makes me think, you know, the years where she was first getting famous and that kind of thing. There were rumors supposedly, and I feel like there's maybe a photo or two where they were together, or maybe they were, there's a trail there. I promise that she didn't just now, you know, like meet the 1975. Yes, okay, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. I really enjoyed that. Out of all of this, I feel like I really love Fortnight. I really love My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. And I really do, I enjoyed Down Bad. My friend let me know about the, you know, how it's used to say that you're in love, supposedly, like, you know, falling for somebody in the UK. And I do appreciate that it kind of feels like, because Taylor would know this, she is far more cultured than I am, and I feel like she would definitely know that. And therefore, I enjoy the double entendre of her actually feeling pretty bad. Because initially, I was like, nobody says they're down bad. Like, nobody says that I know, right? Here in the US. Nobody says that I know. Nobody that I know says they're down bad. Like, what is that all about? Did she just need to create a song and, like, that's what fit? And then when I learned about that, I was like, oh no, it's definitely a double meaning. I can't say definitely, I'm not her, but in my opinion, it seems to be very much a double meaning of I'm down bad as in UK slang for I'm in love, and as like also I'm down bad as in this love is kind of like ruining me a little bit, which kind of makes me think that maybe Fortnight is also allegedly about Maddie. I don't know, y'all, I don't know. Down bad feels like it might be because this seems to be talking about like rekindling her, right? Like, did you really beam me up in a cloud of sparkling dust? Right? Like, it seems like he upheld her in a time where she was really down. And we know now that, you know, beginning Eras Tour, that was kind of like where things with Joe were supposedly allegedly rocky. So, like, waking up in blood, oh my gosh, the, like, vivid lyrics, appreciate you, queen, but dang. Staring at the sky, come back and pick me up, as in, like, oh, waking up in blood, as in, like, she was pushed from something, like Bran Stark style. Not that Bran pushed himself, you know. We all know Jamie did that. Wow. And I love it when she cusses, because when she cusses, it's very purposeful and she really means it, and I really appreciate it. Like, fuck it if I can't have us. Girl, we've all been there. I feel like, anyway, we've all been there. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, so now we're gonna get to side 2, or not side 2, I'm sorry, side B. Let us get to side B. It's like fairy lights of music right now. Like bells ringing, more like. That intro was something. I liked it. It was different. Definitely gives like bells ringing.
I saw in my mind fairy lights through the mist.
Fairy lights. Maybe she was evoking a fairy feeling at the beginning.
Each time he was drifting away. Oh, the tragedy. So
oh my god, this one's so sad. This one definitely feels like allegedly about Joe.
I left all I knew, you left me at the house by the heath.
I don't know that reference.
Stop CPR after all, it's no use. The spirit was gone, we would never come to. And I'm pissed off you let me give you all that youth for free.
Yeah, definitely allegedly Joe vibes. Give all that youth for free. Woo! 2 graves, 1 gun. Damn. Yes, girl. You will. You have.
And you say I abandoned the ship, but I was going down with it. My white knuckle dying grip, holding tight to your quiet.
That's a nice rhyme.
My friend said it isn't right to be scared. How much tragedy? Just how low did you think I'd go?
I love the backing vocals throughout this whole thing. And I love how they've built. Oh. No, because like I don't know if anybody else knows this feeling of like, you know, moving somewhere and then meeting someone that like that makes you feel like that place just lit up. And then, you know, you feel like, you know, if that person were to not be in your life anymore, that place would just like lose all its luster, or you just wouldn't be able to bear to be in it. I don't know. I've definitely felt that way, and that's kind of what this song gives for me. And it ends on, you'll find someone. Girl, focus on you. It seems like you've definitely had to focus on you at that point. Yeah, that's definitely allegedly giving Joe. That makes me very sad. Okay, but Daddy, I love him. This definitely like gives country roots. Ooh.
Above it, screaming, but Daddy, I love him. I'm having his baby. No, I'm not, but you should see your faces. I'm turning to Florida through the fences. No, I'm not coming to my senses. I know it's crazy.
What? What?
Lord knows the words we never heard.
Who's the they? Is like, who is the they? Is that the people? Is that the media? Is that our fans? Like, what's going on? We'll talk about it. This feels like it's allegedly about Maddie, and I just. If this is about Maddie, then why did you break up with him? Like, allegedly. Like, then why didn't you stay? That one was not my favorite. I feel like this is one of the songs that probably didn't need to make the release. I'll talk about it after. Here seems like we are going into Fresh Out the Slammer. Let's see.
Now, pretty baby, I'm running back home to you.
Getting like a Wild West vibe for some reason.
Fresh out the slammer, I know who my
This feels like it's allegedly about Joe. And wow, that is rough to compare your last relationship to feeling like you went to jail. Just want to give her a hug. I like this song. I feel like the fact that Jack Antonoff has produced so many of these initial songs, I feel like every single one, it's starting to show a little bit. Like, I feel like I would appreciate this song if it was interspersed a little bit with different producers. Okay. Okay, so, you know, this is like about leaving a relationship that felt very stifling and running to someone that feels safe, that you seem to know before. Interesting. Florida.
You can beat the heat if you beat the charges too. They said I was a cheat. I guess it must be true. And my friends all
That's
smell
funny.
like weed.
What a disparity.
The hurricane with my name when it came. I got drunk and I dared it to wash me away. Barricaded in the bathroom with a bottle of wine. Well, me and my ghost.
I love her
we had a
voice.
hell of a time. Yes, I'm haunted,
Florence.
but I'm feeling just fine. Little did you know you're 100 only the time
Wow.
you
This escalated.
So you pack your life away just to wait out the shitstorm back in Texas, Florida.
I just really want to know what sparked the inspiration for the song.
I need to forget, so take me to Florida. I've got some regrets, I'll bury them in Florida. Tell me I'm despicable, say it's unforgivable. At least the dolls are beautiful. Fuck me out, Florida.
Did they just both sing At Least the Dolls Are Beautiful? They did not specify Ken or Barbie's this time. I love it. Okay, this song won me over. It's just so epic for being about Florida. Wow. And I mean, Florence's voice definitely amps this song up. Wow, there's a lot of F-bombs in this album. Get it, girly. You were feeling things. You were feeling things. Okay. All right. Suppose I should take a sip of my apple juice. Y'all, we've made it through a whole vinyl. This is very exciting. Okay, So Long London. I really enjoyed So Long London. Definitely think it's funny that she mentions fairy lights because that is 100% the vibe that I get with the so long. What is it? So long. That. I got the first two right. Anyways, that whole vibe, I really enjoyed that. The sort of the way her voice pings from what it feels like side to side, I guess. I don't know if I were to visualize it. And how that creates a twinkling lights kind of feel for me, sonically. I thought that it was cool that the first thing she says is, I saw in my mind fairy lights through the mist. So maybe that is exactly what she's trying to evoke. I mean, this song, in my opinion, is just, it hits. It hits. It's very sad. I feel for her. Like I said while I was listening, I've definitely experienced the feeling of either being with someone romantically or getting to know someone romantically, having them sort of open up a place for you in the sense of for example, if you were to move to New York and then you were to meet someone that just would show you a completely different side of New York, or just would show you New York, through their eyes, and you would never be able to unsee it again. And then if that person were no longer in your life, how it would probably be really hard to be in New York, that kind of thing. And I definitely get the vibe from this song where London is concerned, and that's kind of why it makes me feel like it's allegedly about Joe. And man, I just feel for her. But it's definitely, talking in the abstract, it definitely gives me the vibe that it's about a relationship that, now that it's over, you're saying goodbye to the place where it flourished and the place you learned to really, really love. And that's very, very, very sad. And I can relate to that. Okay, so But Daddy, I Love Him. Oh. Okay. I'm a Swiftie for the music. I appreciate her and her good qualities as a person, but I do not stan her shenanigans. And part of her shenanigans to me is the constant self-victimization that tends to happen through the music. And it's one thing for it to happen, in a song that it's about you and your lover, and it's the two of you and you're self-victim, and and you're feeling like a victim. As the public, we have absolutely no way of knowing anything about that. And a lot of times, when we have big feelings in relationships, especially in romantic relationships, we do tend to feel, like we were hurt. So that's usually the big feeling that's going on. And typically when we're not able to communicate properly, both sides, right, both partners end up feeling like they were hurt. And I understand, writing a song to get those kinds of things out, but Daddy, I Love Him just kind of feels like if I'm putting, my, what I've seen in the media, what I've seen here in the song, if I'm putting my little Swiftie decoder hat, it just feels like initial reaction to maybe the people, her fans in general as well, not reacting very well when she dated Maddie, allegedly. Excuse me. It's kind of late at night now for me. We might actually have to do this in 2 parts. Anyhow, let's keep going. Yeah, so this feels like an initial reaction to maybe the people and her fans not really loving the idea of her dating Maddie. And while I believe that she has the right to date absolutely whoever she wants, I also believe that if it is someone who, you know, has a history of being homophobic or being sexist, you know, maybe being racist or saying things that would allude to one thinking that he is those things, etc., then if that is the decision you're making, then stand by it. Say something with your own self instead of just one of Taylor's close sources released to E! News or People magazine or whatever it is, you know, and stand by it. Like, if that is the thing that you want, which this song, it kind of seems, if it is about this situation, obviously we have no way of knowing, right? Like, I'm just alleging things here just based on what it kind of feels like to me. But if that is the case, then really stand by the choice that you're making. And she never really comes out and, you know, tweets anything herself anymore when it comes to the controversial stuff. And she typically now tends to communicate through, you know, her publicist releasing that a close source to Taylor said this, this, and that, which I respect that. That's her prerogative. But if the reaction was so strong, then this is where I appreciate Taylor the artist and I don't super vibe with Taylor the person, because if the reaction is this strong, then, you know, stand in it and stand in your words and say something about it your own self. Now, I understand that, you know, she probably doesn't want to because she probably is being advised to not and all of those things. And while I understand that also, that is the reason that I feel like this song didn't need to be released. I feel like this song could have absolutely just served to be a cathartic thing for her to write for herself, to get it out of herself and just leave it be. And maybe, you know, down the line, release it as a surprise for some deluxe album that maybe she wants to put some like vault songs in. And it's a song that it does tell. The only reason that I'm speculating about it in this way right now is because of the timeliness of the song, right? And we get the sense Taylor has said that she's gone through a lot in the last little bit since releasing Midnights and a little bit before, and she really just needed to write all these things. So the timeliness of it is what makes me think that it's about what I'm saying. However, you know, if this song were to wait in the vault for a while, I genuinely think that we would not be able to tell necessarily who it's about, or who it could be about, I should say. So yeah, I don't think But Daddy I Love Him needed to stay, honestly. Fresh Out the Slammer I struggle with because this is the first song where it kind of feels like some of the songs that I've already heard. Fresh Out the Slammer kind of sounds not the same, I shouldn't say, but sounds similar to some of the songs. And I want to say that it's because there's just a lot of Jack Antonoff production, and that is not bad per se. It's just she's worked with him so much now that I just feel like their collaboration has started to produce a sort of similar sound on occasion, and it kind of happens with Fresh Out the Slammer for me. I do like the premise of the song. You know what? I will say this. When it comes to being in a place where you genuinely were victimized, you know, be it maybe by like what felt to be like a unhealthy to abusive relationship kind of thing, like songs like this can be very cathartic when you feel like you were legitimately victimized and you can really sit in that. This song just definitely very much gives, like, I don't feel necessarily, like, whereas But Daddy I Love Him, I feel like she's, like, really trying to victimize herself in a situation that maybe maybe she's not really the victim in kind of thing. Fresh Out the Slammer feels very much like, no, like this relationship really did probably feel like, you know, she was very caged and upset that, you know, all of her successes, like the song says, like, you know, were sort of like overshadowed by the shade that was brought on by this relationship kind of thing. And I love the way that this song just really clearly like emanates that feeling. I feel like if it had been produced by someone else, it might have popped to me a little bit more, because if I hadn't been closely looking at the lyrics, I probably wouldn't have felt much about the song. Next we have Florida. Now, man, this one came out of nowhere. Florida came out of nowhere. I love Florence from Florence and the Machine. Like, she's amazing. Love her voice. It has such a quality to it. Like, love it. I do enjoy the actual song. Like, I don't know why. Florida. It's one hell of a drug. Like, I don't know. I feel this is a song that when I'm looking at the lyrics, I'm like, this song should not work, but I just feel like they committed so hard to the sort of like, I don't know if camp is the right word, but they just really committed to the bit. They really committed to the bit of the song, and that is what made the song for me. I love that they just went epic with it. I definitely don't feel like this one is, you know, the same per se. And it was produced by Taylor and Jack Antonoff, so it's not like they can't make something different. I just feel like they fall into a pattern, and that's kind of where Fresh Out the Slammer didn't stand out for me. Hello, it is the next night. You've already seen this outfit because I just had to explain Fortnight better and my thoughts and everything. But now we're back, and we've got side C here.
Drowning in the blue Nile, he sent me downtown.
Downtown Lights, what is that? Oh, the song?
I'm seeing visions, am a bite on my
Oh, I like this one.
What if he's written mine on my upper thigh?
Ooh! Emotional cheating? Okay.
One slipping, falling back into the hedge maze. Oh, what a way to die.
The melody's in this.
How can I be guilty as sin?
Oh, I like this one. Oh!
Keep these longings lost.
Scandalous.
In lowercase inside a vault, someone told me
Lowercase instead of all.
there's no such thing as bad thoughts.
I feel like she usually writes lowercase when she writes lyrics.
Only your actions talk. What if he's written mine on my upper thigh, only in my mind?
Like that.
One slipping, falling back into the hedge maze. Oh, what a way to die. My bedsheets are ablaze.
Ooh.
I screamed his name,
Ah!
building up like waves crashing over my grave.
Oh, girl!
Without ever touching his skin, how can I be guilty
Oh!
as sin?
This song is spicy. I like
I
it.
roll the stone away. What if the way you hold me is actually what's holy?
Oh, what a lyric.
Long suffering propriety. One slipping, falling
Oh!
back into the hedge
There are some fun backing instruments here.
to die. How can I be guilty as sin?
I would pay money to know who this is about. Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. That's Taylor's information. But I'm very, very curious for sure. Very curious. I like this one a lot. Oh, I love that. Is that a violin? the violin at the end there. I dig. Who's Afraid of Little Ol' Me? I feel like I'm not gonna like this one. Let's see.
Who's who
We'll talk about it.
Who's that is poised for the attack. So I leap from the gallows and I levitate down your street. Crash the party like a record scratch as I scream. Who's afraid of little old me? You should be.
I enjoy that the Who's Afraid of Little Old Me is like a belt, as well as it feels like she's like further away. So it does feel like she's screaming it towards us. I like that.
Who's afraid of little old me?
Like I feel for her. Oh, I like that she went low for this next chorus.
Don't you worry, folks, we took out all her teeth. Who's afraid of little old me?
Like I feel for her listening to this song. I have thoughts.
Then say they didn't do it to hurt me, but what if they did?
Okay.
I wanna snarl and show you just how disturbed this has made me. You wouldn't last an hour in the asylum where they raised me.
Oh, it's here.
So all you kids can sneak into my house with all the cobwebs. Don't you worry, folks, we took out all her teeth. Who's afraid of
It's a good song. I just wish she would have sold it to someone instead of doing it herself. And I'll talk about why. Like the song in and of itself, I like. There's like no accountability in this song. And that's my issue with it. Zero accountability in this song.
Who's afraid of little old me?
Not my fave. Not my fave. Okay, let's move on to I Can Fix Him.
But your good Lord doesn't need to lift a finger. I can fix him. No, really, I can. And only I can.
Allegedly Maddie. This song is like very western-y as well. There's another one that was like that. Fresh Out the Slammer, I think.
Good boy.
I like all the whispers in the background of No Really I Can't.
Come close. They shook their heads saying God help her when I told them he's my man.
It's like an interesting like warping effect of the music. I like that.
No, really I can. Whoa, maybe I can't.
Let's see. LOML. Is that Love of My Life? Let's see. I feel like it's definitely not Love of My Life. Oh, it's Aaron Dessner. Here we go.
If we know the steps anyway, we embroidered the memories of the time I was away. Still alive, killing time at the cemetery, never quite buried. In your suit and tie, in the nick of time.
Man, this one's sad. Like her performance of it.
You told me I'm the love of your life.
Like the performance of it, the stripped production. Just haunting and beautiful.
About 1,000,000 times. It was legendary. It was momentary.
This one's so sad.
It was unnecessary. Should've let it stay buried. Oh, what a valiant roar. I'm combing
Lies. I like that.
Never mind, a field of dreams engulfed in fire. Your arsons match your song.
God, I love this song. Holy shit. This is beautifully sad.
Loss of my life.
Loss of my life. Okay, when I'm sad, yeah, that's one we're definitely listening to when we're sad. Okay, next, Lies. I lied to you. Next side. Before we do the next side, we are going to talk about it. Let's start with Guilty as Sin, because that is where side C starts. All right, Guilty as Sin. I really enjoyed Guilty as Sin. I enjoy that it's upbeat, but we're dealing with some difficult topics. I've said this before, I love it when Taylor serves accountability. Love when she's self-aware. And I mean this in the music. I have no way of knowing in general, obviously. In the music. And Guilty as Sin is very self-aware, right? She's very aware that whatever is going on here, there's an emotional cheating going on. I relate to Taylor a lot because I'm definitely one of those people that part of why I love poetry and music, lyrics especially, you know, lyrics are essentially poetry in a way, but part of why I love that way of expression is because you can find a way to say something in a very roundabout way or in a very imagery-centered way where you essentially get away with not really saying the actual thing. And this, you know, Guilty as Sin is kind of a great example of that, which, you know, she could just say, I'm emotionally cheating, it feels like. But no, instead, it's, what if he's written mine on my upper thigh only in my mind? You know, one slip, and I'm falling back into the hedge maze. Oh, what a way to die, right? Like implying that this would end all things, but what a way to go. Damn. I keep recalling things we never did, obviously. Consistently thinking about that person. You know, messy top lip kiss, okay. Maybe that was the thing that happened between them, okay. How I long for our tryst, obviously that is self-explanatory. And then without ever touching his skin, how can I be guilty as sin, right? So I love when we get to hear her talk about a situation that probably a lot of us have been in or felt, and she just illustrates it so beautifully. Definitely when I saw like Guilty as Sin, I wasn't expecting it to be very upbeat, and I like that I was wrong. Also, the artwork for this part slays. So, the photography, I should say. Okay, next. I kind of talk about this a little bit. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? Now, I noticed this was only written by her. So, before, you know, like, Guilty as Sin was written by her and Jack. Same with Fresh Out the Slammer. And then, of course, like, Florida is one hell of a drug. That song is one hell of a drug, I'm telling you. That one snuck its way into my brain. Okay, anyways, that was written with Florence Welch, right? But Daddy I Love Him, Aaron Dessner. I did like the production of Daddy I Love Him. It's like, goes back to her folklore kind of country roots, and I enjoyed that. Totally didn't even see that it was Aaron Dessner. Oh, So Long London, also Aaron Dessner, that doesn't surprise me. Okay, yeah, so basically, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me and My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys are the only songs thus far that she has written by herself. We all know how I feel about My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. We love that one. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? I kind of have the same feeling for this song as I do for But Daddy I Love Him. This feels to me like when I'm listening to it and reading along with the lyrics, there are parts of it where I 100% completely understand the feeling. So the scandal was contained, the bullet had just grazed at all costs, keep your good name, you don't get to tell me you feel bad. Okay, so is it a wonder that I broke? Let's hear, okay, so let's hear one more joke, then we could all just laugh until I cry. Like, I get what that, the situation that I'm imagining is this idea of, okay, so basically when you're like in a friend group and maybe there's one person who like maybe they don't like you and they kind of like passive aggressively bully you a little bit, but the rest of the group just kind of like laughs it off and goes along. Like when that person takes a dig at you, but it's supposed to like be veiled as a joke and everybody just laughs. That's, but you are affected, right? Like you're hurt by that. That was something that was aimed to hurt your feelings and it did the job. And it probably hurts even worse because these people that are supposed to be your friend, like your friends, actually don't stand up for you and still think it's funny, even though anyone who is, you know, a little bit intuitive and can attune to the people that they care about would probably instantly sense that that didn't land very well for the person that it was meant to be at the expense of. And that's kind of how I feel about that lyric, right? Let's hear one more joke, then we can all just laugh until I cry. And I felt that way. I get it. I haven't felt it on the scale of, you know, being famous and having my moves at the whatever event that I'm at being watched and pictures taken and things analyzed and all that, but the basis of that, I felt that, you know, so I get that. I also get the whole, like, I was tame, I was gentle till the circus made me mean, don't you worry, folks, we took out all her teeth, right? Like, I get the sentiment in the sense of, like, there came a point where I had to own the fact that I had a lot of anger and rage for the world existing in the way that it does. People claiming to want to protect children, but they don't want to protect LGBTQIA plus children, and people, you know, being bigots about this and, you know, being non-compassionate about that, but claiming that they're doing it in the name of God. Like, just, they're, like, literally, there are so many things to be angry about in the world, in my opinion, and, you know, I've come to this place, not saying that, you know, all women do, but I've come to this place as a woman where I've learned so much, you know, about so much of the injustices that have occurred to my gender over time. And I'm well aware of a lot of the injustices that still occur. And in a way, a lot of the times I've felt personally, not making generalizations here, but in the way, a lot of the times I've felt personally like society, or at least the societal conditioning that I grew up with, and when I say societal conditioning, I mean like the subliminal messaging from society at large, not necessarily the immediate people that I was close to, but society at large. I mean, I was a very observant child. You know, children tend to absorb everything already, but I definitely absorbed probably a lot of things that I wish, you know, I'd had some like counter conditioning to, but that's beside the point. I felt personally growing up as myself in this world, in this life, that until I just decided to do whatever makes me happy, and I was just getting consistent sort of like conditioning from society to be this way, to do these things. Oh, you want to do that thing? You have to do it in this way, otherwise, you know, you won't be successful, or no need to go any further into that. But essentially, I've felt like this society is a bit of a circus. And growing up as a woman, as first a girl, and then a teen, and now having grown into a woman in this society, I definitely feel like there has been conditioning for me to be tame, for me to be super gentle, for me to be docile, for me to just, you know, stay in my place, whatever. Not necessarily in any specific way, but in a lot of ways. I've definitely felt that whole damned if you do, damned if you don't thing on the basis of being a woman. Because of my life experience in having sort of felt that like anger and rage for the mistreatments that go on in the world in general, but definitely that go on between, you know, the genders and with like the patriarchy and all that nonsense, whatever. Not the point of the video. I get this lyric. I get it. All I'm trying to say is I totally get the sentiment of the song. And if it wasn't Taylor singing it, and if I didn't have, you know, if I hadn't followed her entire career up until this point, and whatever of her personal life that she's willing to offer up, I would be probably vibing a lot more. But I'm one of those Swifties that just really wants Taylor to stand in her power and not victimize herself so much all the time. Because what happens when she does that is she's no longer at fault, right? I was tame, I was gentle, till the circus life made me mean. Nobody can make you do anything. People can model bad behavior. People can make you very, very, very angry that you probably want to mistreat people just like in the way that you were mistreated. But I promise you, you still have free will and you do not have to choose to perpetuate abuse. Not saying this is what she's doing here. Not at all. I'm just saying there are choices. And when you go this far into victimhood, you don't have choices anymore and you don't have accountability anymore. And Taylor is not someone who can be void of accountability, especially in some of the things that she's specifically mentioning in this song. Like, I'm always drunk on my own tears. Isn't that what they all said? Again, with the mysterious they, who also show up in Daddy I Love Him, which just makes me think that this is like fuck you, to like anybody who criticizes her, which, I'm sorry girl, I love your music. I'm going to criticize you if you are not being a great human at times. I can love your music and still want you to be a better human. And still want you to stand in your power instead of consistently blame fame, you know, and what the people that have mistreated you, or rather, blame fame and the people that have mistreated you for your current actions. You're an adult. You're a grown-up. You have choice. So that doesn't compute for me. And that I'll sue you if you step on my lawn. That I'm fearsome, I'm wretched, and I'm wrong. Okay, first of all, that I'll sue you if you step on my lawn. I'm assuming, maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a reference to the fact that maybe people are saying that she sues easily. I don't know. But going off of that assumption, let's just pretend that that's what it is. She does sue people very easily. From what I've seen. This is Taylor, so what a better way to make the point than to say, allegedly, she does sue people very easily. I remember a few years back reading an article about how, okay, I'm horrible with time references. So whether this is like a few years back, like a year, 2 years ago, or like 3-4 years ago, anyone's guess. But I distinctly remember it because I felt so sad. As a Swiftie, I felt so sad. Because I read that Taylor had essentially like sent legal letters to these like Etsy shop owners who were, I think they were using lyrics to make merch. I'm not sure entirely what it was exactly, but essentially like these small Etsy sellers. Can't you just let them fly under the radar if they're not using your face, you know, or they're not using like a phrase that is widely known that you have trademarked? Like, some of these people like were making merch that like Taylor doesn't necessarily make, you know, like the type of merch. And I would think that that is all just great publicity for you. What is the point in sending like small Etsy sellers legal letters? Shall we talk about her suing Olivia Rodrigo for rights on the song Deja Vu under some godforsaken loophole that made absolutely no sense? And I'm like almost certain that poor Olivia, her team probably just advised her to give the like millions of dollars over to Taylor just so she wouldn't have like a litigious situation at the start of her booming career. Like, one step forward, 3 steps back. Yeah, credit Taylor, like she interpolated, I get that. Deja Vu on inspiration? Bitch. Then I guess the guy who did I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt should really sue you for Look What You Made Me Do, right? Because I'm too sexy for my shirt, too sexy for my shirt sounds a lot like, oh, look what you made me do, look what you made me do. That was literally, in my opinion only, fucking litigious bullying. From a person who says that she wants to uphold other artists, especially other female artists. So no, this little, like, annoying little line that I'll sue you if you step on my lawn. Yeah, Taylor. Why do you think the word allegedly is all over my video? Like, yeah, okay, with like when I'm, you know, speculating about the public men she's been out with, yes, allegedly totally fits, yes, but like I threw in an allegedly before I said that she, you know, tends to sue easily, because I'm just not gonna risk it. I'm some teeny tiny YouTuber, I don't even matter, but I'm not gonna risk you coming after me for defamation, especially when I'm a fucking Swiftie and I give you money anyway, like literally. But this song needed to be a cathartic moment, in my opinion, for her to just plop out on a page and put away. Like I said, potentially sell it to someone, probably remove the I'll sue you if you step on my lawn line. Also, like the I'm fearsome, I'm wretched, I'm wrong. It just gives, oh my god, I guess I'm just awful. And it's like, you don't have to be fearsome and wretched and wrong. You can just have done something that was not great. Nobody is saying, like, if anything, to me it's quite fearsome that you don't call off the borderline, like, not even borderline, like that you don't call off your fans when they're doing things like sending, you know, Scooter Braun's wife and children, you know, allegedly sending them death threats. Like, that is fearsome. I don't like that. I don't like that you don't speak out when your fans are misbehaving in that way. That is very extreme and very unnecessary and does nothing to make you look good also. Like, that, okay, you're not calling out the fans, so I guess if someone calls you fearsome because of that, that's warranted. Okay. Wretched. I do not think you're wretched. No. I honestly don't. I think she probably tries to be a good person just as much as all of us, but let's just ignore wretched, because that's That is literally like poor me, I'm wretched. Like, when have I ever heard someone describe her as wretched or seen it on the internet? I don't know. Listen, if you have the receipts, send it my way, because I've never heard someone describe Taylor Swift as wretched. But okay, I'm wrong. I mean, you were wrong to send a cease and desist letter to a college student that was just releasing your private jet usage information, which is absolutely public. Obviously, I don't know. I feel like the way he was initially doing it was kind of like way too on the nose with like timing and where she'd be places, which that I understand, like being totally not okay with. Like, that's a safety thing. I totally get that. But I'm fairly sure that the kid ended up like creating a different account and like specify that it was like a day later. That's when he would release the information, like a day later, you know, so give her time to essentially be everywhere that she was going to be. But nobody has like an ability to keep tabs on her via his profile on Instagram. But essentially, even with that concession, like, she still sent him like a cease and desist letter. Bro is just like making this public information that is already public just more easily accessible. And in my opinion, considering the fact that private jets literally can like ruin our planet, I think we're all like, the reason this is public information is because the public should be privy to it. So in this case, yeah, you're wrong. You are. And you do allegedly seem like you sue pretty easily. I love it when Taylor does her Taylor thing. And this song is her doing her thing in a sense that if I didn't have all the information that I had, that I just relayed to you basically, I would like the song. If somebody else sang it, and I had no idea that it was written by Taylor Swift, I would like the song. But because I just can't help but want her to be better than just consistently victimizing herself and not really growing. Not saying that that's exactly what she's doing. I don't fucking know her, so I have no idea. From the music, I swear, 30 minutes of this whole thing is just gonna be me like disclaiming so that I don't get attacked by fellow Swifties. Anyway, I want her to stand in her power. I want her to be accountable. I want her to grow. And I feel like there's a Who's Afraid of Little Old Me in her discography as well. It just comes in like in past albums. It just comes in different forms. And this one is just the most on the nose one that we've had yet, it feels like. And of course, it's evolved throughout the years, but I'm just waiting for the day where one of her albums won't contain a song that has this much victimhood in it and definitely feels like it's talking about anybody who dares criticize her, even if she herself did things to warrant that criticism. Okay. I can fix him. No, really, I can. Not my favorite, honestly. Not my favorite. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Kind of one of those songs where it feels like Taylor and Jack Antonoff have kind of gone as far as they can with certain production, I guess, with certain collaborations. I don't know. But then again, like, was it Florida that was different? I said that one of them was different. Yeah, this one was produced by Jack Antonoff, and to me that was a little bit different. But anyways, yeah, no, I can fix him, really I can. It's whatever. The ending, the whoa, maybe I can't, kind of felt added in last minute. Am I the only one who got that vibe? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Loss of my life. My jaw is on the floor. Like, this is the kind of sad song that I save for when I'm sad, but can't quite get the tears yet. And I just need a song to help me along. Loss of my life will be added to that playlist. My God. First of all, what did I say? I absolutely love it when she tells stories to us. My absolute favorite, literally, And this one, you know it's a story because not once do we get the little chorus. Nope, because the chorus changes every time because it's a story, like a very complete story. And I really, really, really enjoyed that. Like, all of the imagery in it is so beautiful. Like, the stripped production of it, Aaron Dessner, like, my dude. He does such a good job. I mean, honestly, I loved his involvement in Folklore and in Evermore as well, right? I really enjoy it when they produce songs together because, damn, I feel like, I wonder if it was also Aaron Dessner who did Exile. Did he also produce Exile? I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Yeah, no, this song, like, holy jeez. Like, Dancing Phantoms on the Terrace are these secondhand embarrassed that I can't get out of bed because something counterfeits dead. Like, holy shit. Like, it's honestly, that's kind of how I've always felt when I've had, like, almost somethings or, like, situationships that never really end up materializing into, like, actual dating. And it, for some reason, like, almost, like, feels so much worse than if you had something that was definitive and had closure. That's kind of the vibe I get when I, read the lyric, because something counterfeits dead, Anyways, Loss of My Life, beautiful, 10 out of 10, love this song, it is heart-wrenching. And now, I have gotten bits and pieces because of this next song, because this is all over social media, and I'm excited to actually listen to it. So, let us flip to side D. We're starting off with a bang, because we're starting off with I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
I can read your mind. She's having the time of her life.
Alright.
There in her glittering prime, the lights refract sequin stars off her silhouette every night.
Alright, talking about eras.
Show you lies. 'Cause I'm a real tough kid, I can handle my shit. They said, babe, you gotta fake it till you make it, and I did. Lights, camera, bitch, smile, even when you wanna die. He said he loved me all his life, but that life was too short. Breaking down, I hit the floor. All the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more.
I like that more.
I was hitting my marks. I'm so depressed, I act like it's my birthday every day.
Okay, this is a bop.
I'm so obsessed with him, but he avoids me like the plague. I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art.
I've heard that part a lot.
'Cause I'm a real tough kid.
Damn, allegedly Joe wrecked her.
They said, baby, gotta fake it
Joe,
till you make it,
allegedly.
and I did. He said he loved me for all time, but that time was quite short. Breaking down, I hit the floor. All the pieces of me shattered as the crowd was chanting more. I was grinning like I'm winning. I was hitting my marks like the plague.
I like the snapping, the shutter sounds.
But I am so productive. It's an art.
I like the, it's an art.
Trying to come for my job.
Why'd you have to ruin it? We'll talk about it. Okay. Lost man, whoever lived.
Any of it true? Gazing at me starry-eyed.
This seems very allegedly funny.
Witness suit. They just ghosted you.
Ooh, gauntlets
Now
dropping.
you
Damn.
know what it feels like. You didn't Were you sent by someone who wanted me dead? Did you
There's always a theme of people wanting her dead. Like, what is this?
underneath our bed? 'Cause it wasn't sexy once, it wasn't forbidden. I would have died for your sins. Instead, I just died inside. And you deserve prison, but you won't get time. You'll slide into inboxes and slip through the bars. You crashed my party and you
Did he really crash her party?
car. He said normal girls were boring, but you were gone by the morning. You kicked out the stage lights, but you're
Damn, this bridge is
still
ruthless.
performing. And in plain sight you hid, but you are what you did. And I'll forget you, but I'll never forgive the smallest man who ever.
Damn, that one was scathing. I really liked it. I really like the ones that Aaron Dessner did. Alchemy. The Alchemy.
But I'm coming back so strong. So when I touch down, call the amateurs and cut them from the team. Ditch the clowns, get the crown, baby, I'm the one to be. 'Cause the sign on your heart said it's still reserved for me.
Allegedly Travis?
Who are we to fight the alchemy? So
When I touch down, call the amateurs and cut them from the team. Like, ditch the clowns, get the crown, baby, I'm the one to be. That is so sports coded. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't dislike this song. I kind of like it, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. It's dreamy. Kind of like that. Did they now, girl? Okay, Clara Bow.
You look like Clara Bow in this light.
Like the production.
All your life. Did you know you'd be picked like a rose? You look like Stevie Nicks in 75. The hair and lips crowd goes wild at her fingertips. Half
I like the song.
shine, a full eclipse. You look like Taylor Swift in this light.
Interesting.
We're loving it. You've got edge. She never did. The future's bright, dazzling.
Oof. Damn. Okay, that song hit. Okay, we've got a bonus. It's the Manuscript. I hope it's available. If it's not, I guess we'll cut this part out. Holy shit. It's like actually written. Oh wow. Like.
Now and then she rereads the manuscript of the entire torrid
Just written by her also.
She rolled her eyes and said, "You're a professional." He said, "No, just a good Samaritan." He said that if the sex was half as good as the conversation was, soon they'd be pushing strollers. But soon it was over.
Has she ever said SEX before? Like so plainly? I don't think so. Damn! No wonder this is a bonus.
She thought about how he said since she was so wise beyond her years, everything had been above board. She wasn't sure.
Oh, damn. God. Okay. Oh, man.
The only thing that's left is the manuscript. One last souvenir from my trip to your shores. Now and then I reread the manuscript, but the story isn't mine anymore.
That was cute. That was a beautiful song. Let's talk about it. Last little bit here, so I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. All right, it's a bop. I enjoyed it, honestly. Production's a bit chaotic for me. It's definitely one of those songs that I feel like I'm gonna have to listen to when I want to, not necessarily one that like I'm gonna always vibe when it comes on, because it's just a lot of a song for me personally. And I feel like I have to rise to the energy of it, and that won't always be the thing. Oh, let me just check something. Okay, sorry, this video is like full of interruptions. Okay. Where were we? I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. It's a bop. I really enjoy it. Like I said, it is a lot of a song for me, so it's gonna be one of those that I listen to when I feel like listening to it, or if I'm, just intentionally going through the album and I know it's coming, that kind of thing. I do want to hug her, especially because literally in the lyric book it says the "cause I'm miserable" part at the end. Like, miserable is in all caps. Like, I want to give this woman a hug for this song. I want to give her a hug for a lot of these songs, honestly, genuinely. I mean, hey girl, I was like also so on board with the song, like the whole ass thing, until Try and Come For My Job. What? I know. I listened to Clara Bow. I get it. Hollywood does this thing where it, spits at girls out. Like, I get it, but girl. No one else can be Taylor Swift. Therefore, no one can come for your job. Like, I feel like all of us on the outside can totally see that, but she can't. Anyway, I am on board with the entire song except for that lyric, because of all the things that I talked about victimhood and crap already when we talked about Lil Ol Me and But Daddy I Love Him. So I could have done without that last lyric, but yes, otherwise, bop. Enjoyed it. I'm probably gonna be very much relating to that I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art. Relate to that a lot. Always have. Be they tears of joy or sadness or frustration or whatever it is. I'm easy to stir to tears in a sense. I just feel very deeply. So, I cry a lot, but I'm so productive. I relate. And man, dude, honestly, when I've been heartbroken, low-key, as a coping mechanism, I would just dive headfirst into work. Whatever it was at the time. I would just right into it. Probably wasn't super healthy, considering I was probably doing a lot of escapism. Those feelings definitely had to get, dealt with, I suppose. They had to be dealt with. There we go. Those feelings definitely had to be dealt with, and they were. Not gonna lie, when you're fresh off the breakup, then fresh out the slammer. Anyway, in my opinion, it's helped me to like give myself a distraction until the like tumultuous feeling and the pain kind of like dies down to like a more of a dull roar where you can kind of deal with it more. So I get it. And hey, she is that good. And I mean, Taylor, we all speculated when Invisible String was suddenly changed to the one. Just you know. We also caught you, being real sad while performing Lover. That made me real sad. So, also love the edits when we have her doing it, now that she's like happy in love kind of thing. So, anyways, definitely weren't totally blind to it, but thank you for confirming it. The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Okay, this song, I like it, but not necessarily because it's a song that I'm going to be like listening to all the time per se, but it is scathing. And I just love honesty, honestly, even when it's a bit scathing. And even, especially when it's honesty that like if I, whenever I do release music, like I don't know that I'm going to be this specific. It's bold. It's brave to be this specific. And if she is here for putting it out, I'm here for listening to it. It definitely, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it's a song that, like I said, I'm going to be listening to all the time, but it's one of those songs that I'm like, I'm really glad you got this out your system, girl. And I'm sorry that it felt like that you were, it seems like you were treated really unfortunately, and that sucks. So let's talk about the Alchemy. Yeah, it kind of gives me False God vibes, not in concept or content per se, but like kind of like the sultriness of the song, I suppose. I do appreciate that. I do think it is so on the nose that I almost wonder if she like really wrote it in real time, or if she was like, okay, I need a song about Travis in here, allegedly, so how do I let's just conjure a song that just, how do I feel about him? Let's just put it into a song. I don't know if it, a lot of these songs feel a lot like Taylor feeling a lot of shit and then coming home and being like, like, vomit song. It sounded bad. But you know what I'm saying? Like when you just like I've done this where I've felt something so strongly that I literally come home and I like scribble a poem like as fast as I humanly can because I just need to get the feelings out of me. Like a lot of these songs feel like that is what happened, like in real time, and she just came home and just like spilled the song onto the page. The Alchemy feels like maybe there's a little bit more pre-planning. It doesn't feel as spontaneous to me, but what the hell do I know? I am literally going off of just like intuition and speculation here, right? This is just for funsies. This is for entertainment. And it is very on the nose, which I enjoy the songs where she's more lyrical and more poetic more. So this song isn't necessarily super for me, but I can appreciate the cheekiness in it. I can appreciate, the thing. And I do appreciate that it is like the second to last song. So we kind of like get like a happy in love thing before she hits us with existential dread. So let's talk about Clara Bow. Clara Bow, she was an actress. I believe she was considered Hollywood's like first sex symbol. And I haven't learned too much about her, but I feel like her life was probably a little bit difficult if other subsequent Hollywood sex symbols are to be paralleled to her experience. Ooh, excuse me, I'm sorry, it's late. I feel for her in the song in the sense that no amount of anyone telling her, girl, nobody can come for your job at this point. Like maybe at some point, sure. But at this point, like nobody can really come for your job. Like anybody, like her most trusted advisor could tell her this. And I don't think it would actually change anything. Like I think that this fear of being, like, of having your star, I cannot speak tonight, but a video had to be recorded, so we deal. This feeling of, you know, feeling like she's in the past, feeling like she's old news, feeling like she's no longer the thing, the it girl, the pop princess, whatever it is. I don't think this is something that, like, anyone can really remedy except for her, you know, probably with some either self-guided or therapist-guided therapy. Like, that is some deep crap that you don't, it is not as simple as people, you know, like, showing her trajectory, showing her the fact, you know, they could show her, like, I think anything short of here is a vision of the future where literally nobody else has become Taylor Swift, you know, at least in your lifetime. Like, I think anything short of that, just it's not going to erase this existential dread. And I kind of got a little bit of it as well in Nothing New, but I enjoy how it's portrayed here a little bit better. Like, I enjoy the parallels that she's drawing here, right? Like, oh, you look like Clara Bow in this light, remarkable. And then, of course, it ends with, you know, we go into the chorus, which, this town is fake, but you're the real thing. Breath of fresh air through smoke rings. Take the glory, give everything. Promise to be dazzling. And then next, right? You look like Stevie Nicks. Yada, yada, yada. We go on. We end with the same chorus. This town is fake, you're the real thing. Breath of fresh air through smoke rings. Take the glory, give everything. Promise to be dazzling. Right? The crown is stained, but you're the real queen. So the crown is stained, but you're the real queen. Meaning, like, the crown has been passed. It is not new. But supposedly, you are the real queen, right? Flesh and blood amongst war machines. Vulnerable, right? Tender amongst the most the most non-vulnerable, the most non-tender things. You're the new god we're worshiping. Promise to be dazzling. Like, there's so much here. You're the new god we're worshiping, which implies there was an old one, which implies that you will eventually be the old one. And then promise to be, and I love the pause, dazzling. Now, the way that this song ends, in my opinion, is very impactful, right? So, I mean, first of all, let's get into this bridge. I feel this so deeply, that while I am aware of my pretty privilege, like, I wasn't made differently, there's no point in wishing things like that, but there have been moments where I've questioned, I guess, in my life, if maybe that thing wouldn't have happened to me if I didn't look the way that I did. For that reason, and for those moments, this bridge really does hit me a lot, because, and God, I don't like talking about this because beauty really is very subjective, and, you know, I guess here we're talking about, like, conventional beauty, and to fit into that can be a double-edged sword. And that's what this bridge is trying to say. And I do feel that very deeply, and I do appreciate it. I appreciate how she puts it, right? Beauty is a beast that roars, down on all fours, demanding more. Like, just think about, you know, when people get into injections and fillers and things, like, it's not an uncommon practice for those spas to, like, push as many things on you as possible. That kind of gives me this idea of, like, you know, demanding more, like, your beauty demanding more. I mean, hell, like, I partake in a multi-step, like, skincare routine. You know, I make sure I take care of my hair, like, really well. I make sure that I reapply sunscreen all the time. Like, what is that if not, like, me demanding more of myself to, you know, try to retain my beauty, I guess. Only when your girlish glow flickers just so, right? There's, like, a very specific time that it feels like where girls can really truly be, like, super, super, super valued. Final Girl Studios, this other channel on YouTube, has some really interesting videos about girlhood, which kind of explore these ideas in greater depth. I suggest checking her out. But yeah, it's like when your girlish glow flickers just so. Yeah, it definitely feels like there's kind of like a very small window to be like super valued as a woman in the world, or at least up until recently it's kind of felt that way for me. Do they let you know it's hell on earth to be heavenly, right? This is just another way of saying, like, do they tell you that being, I guess, pretty or beautiful conventionally is a double-edged sword? Them's the breaks. They don't come gently. Yes. Okay, there we go. Sorry, that last part is more self-explanatory. Whereas now, the very ending, which, damn, that hit me, because kind of feels like it's allegedly alluding to Olivia. Like, I could definitely see people say that Olivia, like, people were drawing a lot of parallels between Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift, and I don't think Taylor Swift really liked that once Olivia really popped off. And I wouldn't be surprised if people were saying that she looks like Taylor Swift, but just edgy, because she kind of has been edgy from the beginning, you know, whereas Taylor, like, started out with very much like a good girl persona. She kind of still has that good girl persona. She just, like, bears her claws every now and again to remind us she has them, because she hasn't been able to brandish them before, you know? So, this line hit me, this lyric. You look like Taylor Swift in this light. We're loving it. You've got edge. She never did. The future's bright. ... Dazzling. First of all, I feel the existential dread just oozing off this song, and I am here for it. I appreciate the honesty here. This isn't her being like, someone's coming to take my job, or try to come for my job. No, this is just honest. This is her just sharing. This is her being vulnerable. I don't even get any, like, icky feeling when she says the whole, like, you know, you look like Taylor Swift in this light, we're loving it, you've got edge, she never did. Like, that, whereas, you know, the whole, like, try to come for my job, the instant I read and listened to that lyric, I was like, ugh. I just felt this involuntary, like, ugh, why are we doing this, girl? Like, nobody's gonna do that, you know? But, like, when I read this, like, you've got edge, she never did, I just read it as this, like, very matter-of-fact thing that Taylor, like, knows that she didn't really have edge, you know, at the beginning, that she specifically curated a persona that was not edgy, you know, and it just feels very honest, you know, and it does, the song does what it set out to do, which is really tell the story of how no matter how much you are the new god we're worshiping, the crown is stained. It's been passed on, and it will continue to be passed on again. You know, and that thing that gave you the crown in the first place, your beauty, is not going to be the thing that helps you retain it, per se. And in a way, you can never retain that particular crown, because it is only when your girlish glow flickers just so that they let you know, right? Anyway, what a bombastic end to the album. Let's do some final thoughts here. I enjoyed it. I did. I really enjoyed it. I don't think that this was an album that she set out to make because she wanted to release new music to the public, potentially rope in some new people that hadn't listened to her before, yada yada, that kind of thing. I don't think that this was it. I really do think that she wrote this for herself, or rather she created this album because she needed to get these emotions out of her somehow. Now, while I don't think that, you know, just getting them out into some work of art is necessarily enough to fully process them, this is obviously part of her process just in general, and this album just genuinely feels like something that she created going, oh, you know what, like, I needed to make this, but also I think my fans will understand. And I think that that's kind of what this album is. And now, whether you thought it was great, whether you thought it was mid, whether you thought it all sounded the same, I do agree that especially the Jack Antonoff songs are starting to kind of, depending, like, I don't know, they're kind of starting to blend together a little bit at times. And I just think that maybe like him and Taylor have just been working for a long time together. Maybe it's because they're always creating the same kind of music, which is, you know, like kind of like that synth pop kind of thing. I don't know what it is, but I do appreciate that she brought in Aaron Dessner quite a bit for a lot of this, and I would love for her to, you know, kind of bring different producers on. Just like keep Jack Antonoff, do the things that you guys love to do, but also, you know, bring different producers on so we can just get more of a variety. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Like, let me just go through the song list here, and let's just say like some of my favorites. You know, I really enjoyed, like I said, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. I loved Down Bad. So Long London, heart-wrenching, loved it. Florida just weaseled its way into my heart there, but we dig. I enjoy Guilty as Sin. I'm gonna be bopping to that for sure. Okay, and Clara Bow. And I really like Clara Bow. Those are the ones that like really stood out to me. And Fortnight. I really do. I enjoy Fortnight. I think the single song just always kind of gets a little bit overplayed. I tend to forget about it. But I do enjoy Fortnight. When I actually listen to it, I really, really enjoy it. In spite of what I talked about, I do appreciate the music video, and I do appreciate what she was trying to do. And yeah, just for a little fun time here, just want to show you, we do have an introductory poem by Stevie Nicks here, which is very fun. This video is already so long, so I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna read it. Also, it's like handwritten, like it is, she wrote it, and they did not type it out, and there's a lot of anxiety, okay, for me to read handwriting right now. I'm tired, and anyways. And then, what I appreciate is, in summation, we get a summary by Taylor Swift at the end. So we get the foreword essentially by Stevie Nicks, and then and I like that it's by Stevie Nicks because she references Stevie Nicks and Clara Bow, so that's kind of a cool little thing. And then yeah, we get the summary poem at the end, and this one's also in Taylor's handwriting, so I will be reading these privately because that gives me a lot of anxiety right now, and I just gave you a whole bunch of reactions and thoughts, and I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm tired, and I just recorded a really weird outro at the end of that video, so let's try this again, yeah? Okay. Thank you so much for being here. If you would like me to react to the anthology as well, I'll probably listen to that on my own time, but I can definitely come on and talk about it on a video. So if that's something you want, please go ahead and leave that in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Like, this is a completely new thing that I did, and I'm really grateful that you're here, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, you made it this far, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please consider clicking the bell, because I do post regularly, but I don't post on a schedule. And please consider liking the video. Like, honestly, even just doing that is so helpful for the algorithm, and I really appreciate you for doing it. Also, we always comment in emojis, so let's comment like the book, or the composition book, or like the fancy fountain pen, like whatever sort of evokes Tortured Poet for you. And you can find me on socials. I am at Embodying Mystical Mac. I've also got a music account at Mac and the Music. You can check out my affiliate down below. I have one. I also have some good causes listed down there if that's something you want to check out in the description. And lastly, you can book a tarot reading. The instructions are on the description as well. It's pretty easy. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Stay mystical, stay grounded. Not sure how I'm gonna rate this guy. We'll keep you posted. Yeah, we'll keep you posted on where it rates in the Taylor Swift album lineup for me. But yeah, stay mystical, stay grounded. Thank you so much. Bye.